Well, a very pleasant good evening. Time for Startup Talk, brought to you by Indian River State College. And with the show, here's Mr. Tom Kindred.
Thank you, Greg, and welcome to another segment and installment of Startup Talk, the show designed to assist and help Treasure and Research Coast residents who want to start, grow, or accelerate their business. And as I always say, what a great place it is to own and operate a business along the beautiful Research and Treasure Coast. We will spend time during our hour this evening to highlight and create awareness regarding the very powerful and robust business assistance and support programs which exist right here at our very own Indian River State College. As Greg said, I am Tom Kindred, and I am the Regional Director for the Small Business Development Center at IRSC. We call it the SBDC at IRSC. And our show today is powered by the Small Business Development Center at Indian River State College and our friends at Express Printing of Port St. Lucie. Greg, how are you this evening?
Doing okay.
All right, everything's all right.
Recovered from all the travels of the basketball team.
All right, and
had a good year.
How did all that wrap up? So
good year. We were 17-13. Obviously, have not won that many games in 3 years.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah, Charlie Wilson's an amazing coach, and of course, no rest for the wicked. Right. The day after the game, he was out recruiting.
So it should be.
Yeah.
That's the way it should be.
Oh yeah.
Listen,
yeah.
I was you and I got to watch. I guess was that the final home game that we saw?
Was.
That
yeah, Palm Beach.
Oh, what a great game!
Yeah,
incredible.
Yeah, and we should have won it.
Should have won it.
Yeah, there were about, I would say, 7 games. Well, actually, 5 of the last 7 games that we played were 3 points or less.
I know.
3 were wins,
I'm telling you,
2 were losses.
That's right.
So, yeah. It's
majority of the games I was at this year, we lost with seconds on the clock by one shot.
Yeah, yeah.
So, great year.
Well, the game on Sunday, though, as I was just telling you, we knew within 30 seconds of the game it was over.
Right.
The center, and I have to kind of describe the shot. The center grabs the ball for Broward, throws the ball to his star guard, who's standing at half court. The ball hits him in the back of the head, goes straight up, comes back down. The guy's falling out of bounds, grabs the ball with one hand, throws it over his head, and it goes in from 50 feet. Then you know.
Yeah, you know.
Odds of winning today ain't too good.
The basketball demons.
But it was,
it
was a great season. It was a lot of fun.
Yeah, and Charlie, I guess, has gotten all settled in, So Coach Wilson, so that's good. Greg, I can tell you tonight, I am so excited to have our guest on tonight. I had the opportunity to visit a local manufacturing operation the other day, thanks to one of our SBDC consultants who took me out to this local manufacturer. And I couldn't believe the operation that literally is within 2 minutes of this radio station, Greg, right up here on the Kings Highway, in the Industrial Commerce Park up on Kings Highway. Incredible operation, great story. And so tonight...
So are you trying to say we're going to close this building and move in?
I'm moving up there, yeah. I'll move up there tonight. That's right.
For me.
I'm telling you, of course, it's my favorite type of manufacturing, food manufacturing.
Oh, there you go.
So... we have got with us tonight Mr. Paul Chun of Island Joe's Hot Pie, and they make an incredible, meat pie. Different. Well, I don't want to spoil what he's going to talk about, but incredible manufacturer, incredible story, incredible business person tonight. We've got with us Mr. Paul Chun. Welcome to the show, Paul.
Thank you very much for having me.
And we've got, with Paul, we've got one of our standout SBDC consultants, one of my favorite, Emily McHugh. Welcome to the show, Emily.
Good evening, Tom. Happy to be here, too.
Yes, ma'am. Emily's been with us before, and so we're going to talk to Emily.
Back for a return engagement.
That's right. Back by popular demand.
That's
Emily.
it, yeah.
So we're going to talk to Paul tonight about Island Joe's manufacturing facility, what they make, and what they're doing with their products today. And we're going to talk to Emily a little bit tonight about the SBDC. So again, guys, welcome to the show. We'll start as we always do. I've got For a return appearance also is our own Caitlin Ballard from the SBDC office to talk to us about some upcoming business training events, which I always like to highlight. Emily, or Caitlin, you out there?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good. All right, Caitlin, talk to us. I know we got lots of great things coming up.
So we do. We're coming into the month of March, and we have a lot of great workshops coming up throughout the Tri-County area. And as always, we are able to put on these workshops because of our amazing partnerships with some amazing organizations, which would be the Treasure Coast SCORE and the Small Business Administration.
Absolutely.
They're a huge role in what we do here.
Yep.
So with that, let me just give you some information on some upcoming classes. Coming up in the first week of March, we have March 1st, we have sales training for small businesses down at the Indian River County Chamber of Commerce. March 9th, we have how to start a small business at the Moorgate Library down in Stewart.
All right.
Again, on March 9th, we have an excellent business plan at the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. And March 14th, we have process improvement for small businesses also at the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce.
Nice. And again, Caitlin, all of these programs are instructed by experienced folks out of our Treasure Coast chapter of SCORE. And all of the events that Caitlin just went over are free, no charge. Is that correct, Caitlin?
Yep, that's absolutely correct.
How does one register? We do like to know how many folks are coming on the evening. How does one register for these no-cost business training events, Caitlin?
Registration is simple, Tom. Everybody just has to check out our website, which is www.irscbiz.com. And under the events calendar tab, it's very simple. It lists everything there, and you can register right there.
Okay. Caitlin, thank you so much. And Caitlin does a great job for us at the local SBDC office. She helps us get the word out on those classes, helps us organize those events, supports all the consultants. So, Caitlin, we appreciate what you do, and thank you for updating us on upcoming business training. And have a good evening.
Thank you, guys. Have a great evening.
Obviously, again, as I always point out, one of the most important details to remember regarding those training sessions that Caitlin just spoke about is that most all of the SCORE and SBDC training events are provided at no cost. There is absolutely no cost to attend the events, nor is there any cost to ever engage the SBDC and one of their consultants. And I always take the opportunity when we're talking to tell the story that, you know, when I was back in business, if I had taken the time to become engaged in and participate in the business assistance programs offered at Indian River State College, I am confident I could have been a better manager, owner, and operator. The college, its president, Dr. Massey, and the Board of Trustees have done an incredible job of building a very powerful, what I like to call a one-stop shop for business assistance and support through what we call the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute. And that EDI is made up of the Small Business Development Center, the CCTI, the Corporate and Community Training Institute, and the Business Incubation Program. As Caitlin told you, you can always get more information about all those offerings at the IRSCbiz.com site. Check out the events calendar. I tell folks all the time, and I promise you, I guarantee, if you click on that events calendar, I promise you, you will be impressed with all that's going on. So, as always, just a big thank you to the SBDC and their consultants for the work they perform out in the community. So, with that, Greg, anything that you want to talk about on upcoming business topics or training events?
Yeah, I need a lot of them.
That's right.
I just need to understand what a profit and loss is. It's that first word that kind of stumps me.
But you're clear on the loss, right? You got the loss.
Oh yeah, I've got that down big time.
Well, good. We need to hook you up with the SBDC.
No, I've already been thrown out of Jack's office, so I understand that.
Well, listen, I am excited to get to our subject tonight. I'm telling you. Again, I'll tell you my little story. We at the SBDC, what we like to do is we like to every now and again go out and engage one of the folks that we're working with through the SBDC. We like to highlight what they're doing. We like to we go out sometimes and actually do a little video shoot, create some historical information about what's going on with the business, and then we share that really with the entire Florida SBDC network, where we put that on the Florida SBDC website and talk about what some of our successful businesses are doing. So the other day, I had the opportunity to accompany Emily out to Island Joe's hot pie manufacturing facility. I had no idea this was out here, and I was just, overwhelmed and impressed with what Paul and his family have built in our community and have brought to our community. I guess I shouldn't act surprised. I guess I told Emily I should act like I knew all this was going on, but I have to be honest, I didn't, and it was impressive to go out. So really enjoyed my time out there with Paul. He made it even better because he gave me a couple of hot pies.
Oh, I knew there'd be food involved.
That's right. There was food involved, and I ate them right there on site. So it was incredible, just incredible to see that this is going on in our community. So I begged Paul and Emily to come on the show tonight and talk about what's going on. So again, with that, I want to welcome Paul back to the show. Welcome, Paul.
Hey, thank you.
And welcome, Emily. Emily, let's start with you real quickly. Again, we talk an awful lot on this show about the SBDC, and so we don't need to go drill down into it too much. But again, I like to cover the basics because I often refer to the SBDC as one of the best kept secrets in our town. So, again, start with just a little background on yourself, Emily. Where did you come out of business to get engaged with the SBDC?
Well, I've been connected with the SBDC for many years. I first got introduced to them when I started my own business in New Jersey, and I learned about them. It was at Kane University in New Jersey, and they helped me with the business plan.
Nice.
And that's how I got first connected, and also learned about SCORE and all the services that the SBA offers through SCORE and the SBDC. And when I moved down to Florida and moved my business down here, I actually kind of forgot about the resources.
Right.
Which unfortunately I did, because when you're new to an area, it's helpful to tap into a network that's there, and I didn't even remember the network I left in New Jersey. Anyway, I finally did get reconnected with them at IRSC, and Nanielle Smoke, she was my consultant, and she was wonderful, and she really helped us and did her best to connect us to all kinds of things. And then I got the opportunity to teach as an adjunct professor at the college.
Nice.
So that kind of got me in there part-time. And then next thing you know, I got the opportunity to actually be a consultant in the international trade, as an international trade consultant, given my background in that. So as far as how I got into international trade, I would basically say I was born into it.
Right.
I was born in Cambridge, England, left as a baby at 2 months old, my first transatlantic flight, and have been enamored with all things international ever since. So I grew up in Jamaica, the island of Jamaica. My parents are both from the island. And that, of course, anyone who's from Jamaica knows that it's a transformative experience, and it really sets the stage. And it's also a crossroads for trade, and it has been for many centuries, really.
Right.
So anyway, coming from that, and then I was a foreign language major in college, majored in French and Spanish, and then I worked for a French bank in New York for many years, BNP, National Bank of Paris, and also in Mexico City. And I worked in international trade finance. So everything was about where things are going, what's being shipped where, and so forth. So anyway, it's all come full circle. And finally, with my own business, Kusori, and we design stylish bags and travel accessories, we produced products in Asia. So I'd have to travel pretty regularly to China and Taiwan and so on. So anyway, so now bringing all that to bear here locally to our clients, that experience plus what they need and all the resources that we have available, that's what we have to offer.
How long were you in Mexico City?
I lived there for a year, but I also lived a year in Oaxaca, which is in southern Mexico.
I know where it is.
2 years in Mexico.
Yeah. Cool.
Did you like
well,
it?
And Mexico City is like so cosmopolitan.
Oh, yes.
It's amazing. You talk French. I mean, there are several languages.
Oh, absolutely. I spoke
Spoken there.
the three, French, Spanish, and English, every day.
Yeah.
It was just
Not a surprise.
that was what it was. So it was really great.
And again, one of the things that I, again, think is so impressive and makes the SBD so powerful is that we have specialties within inside the SBDC. And we've got a number of specialties. You know, Jack was on the show, as a matter of fact, last week. We talked about Profit Mastery, which incredible program for any business, no matter what stage you're in.
Can you
your
hit
business.
that word, profit?
Yeah, I know.
I'm still writing
We
that
always
down.
try to focus
That's
on
the
that. We
word
try to
of the
focus
day.
on that. We've got a government procurement specialist, Scotty Wilson, who I'm sure we'll have on the show here shortly one day. We've got a business continuity specialist, Dick Cantner, who helps folks with business continuity and business continuation. And then, of course, Emily is our international trade specialist within the SBDC. So take, again, just a minute, Emily, and talk to me about that international trade specialty inside the SBDC local office. What do you do, and how do you help clients here along the Treasure Coast?
Okay, well, the goal with the whole international trade consulting is to assist our local businesses to export more or import, or just participate in international trade, because the statistics show that your profitability, our favorite word here,
Right.
can increase almost 15% higher than the companies that do not export. Those that export can have 15% higher profitability. So it is an economic decision that makes a lot of sense. And we want to provide so what we do is, number one, provide resources to companies who are currently exporting, making them aware of how they can maybe do it more efficiently, or what can expedite what they're doing. And those who are new to exporting, make them aware how they can get into it. What are some of the steps you take to start the process?
And one of the statistics that we always talk about is that when we look at a domestic market, that's only a very small part of really what's available to a business,
it's
right?
20%. I mean, if you when you start to export, you could potentially increase to like 80% more of what
Right. Okay.
the business you can
Right.
have.
I mean, I think 95% of the market is really outside the
90%.
domestic.
Yeah,
domestic
95% of consumers are outside and 80% of the purchasing power. So
Right.
if you look at America, the United States representing 20%, then, that's a nice way to increase your
Right.
business.
Now, talk to me again, which is so impressed with this program. Talk to me about the partnership that the Florida SBDC has with Enterprise Florida, and then helping businesses actually write international marketing plans.
Okay, so our program, it's called the Export Marketing Plan Program, the EMP, and it is sponsored by Enterprise Florida, which is the entity that promotes trade for the state of Florida. They promote it within the United States to attract businesses here, and also to promote international businesses with Florida companies and companies overseas. So they have this grant program where clients can apply to receive a customized export marketing plan, which lays out in-depth research on your industry, on competitive forces in the market, and the goal of the plan is to identify the best international markets for your product or service, and then define an action plan for implementation. So it's a wonderful program.
Yeah.
And really, we encourage our clients to avail themselves to.
Greg, did you know this?
No, not at all.
mean-
and what's fascinating is because, like, I would imagine each country is a little different in how they would handle imports, right?
Absolutely, yeah. And and letting people know about the tariffs, the harmonized tariff codes, how to classify their products so that they're assessed the correct duties and fees. Those are some of the things that we do. We let them know that, you might be interested in a specific market, but if the tariffs are outrageous, you might not want to consider it, might not make your product affordable in that market.
Right.
So these are some of the things we try to lay out so people can have the market intelligence they need to make informed decisions.
Now, and again, so I want to go back to the beginning of this so that the people really understand this. If you are in the manufacturing field, manufacturing industry within your business, you can engage Emily, and Emily will assist, help. What's the word here? Actually, probably sort of.
Yeah, we can do a variety of things. The export marketing plan, specifically that program, there are certain qualifications necessary that you have to apply for. But we can assist you with that and let you know if you can qualify or not. If you do not, we can still offer services to help you at no cost to you.
Right.
So there are always options for us to work with our clients.
But if you do qualify under this program, you actually take the lead on building a actual international trade marketing plan for the business, a plan that they can literally step by step understand how they can take their product and go global with that product.
Yes, absolutely, and connect them to our partner organizations like Enterprise Florida, who conducts trade missions and things like that, and also the U.S. Commercial Services that operate our trade promotion activities at embassies around the world, U.S. embassies around the world. So we can connect you directly with the countries, with the people in place who can then connect you to potential partner
And that's
businesses.
called what, U.S.?
The U.S. Commercial Services, which is a part of the U.S. Department of Commerce,
Wow.
and they have the Gold Key program. So we inform our clients of all those wonderful programs.
Right.
Amazing stuff.
And you've done 4, 5, 6 of these plans so far for clients. You're engaged in some, I know, ongoing right now, but you've actually completed some of these plans.
Last year, well, since it was new for us starting it last year, I did 3 last year,
Okay.
and then I have 3 on tap for this year so far.
Okay. So, here are businesses, again, an asset, a program that's available to Treasure Coast businesses.
And it takes about 2 to 3 months to complete a plan. So
Sure.
just so people understand, there's a time element there.
Okay. Emily, again, great work. The goal is to try to make sure that we get that word out on that plan. So at this point, I want to turn to Mr. Paul Chun, who is part of the family that created, I guess, founded, and built this incredible company called Island Joe's Hot Pie. So again, Paul, let's just kind of start sort of in the beginning. Give me a little bit of the history on the company.
Well, my father, always being the entrepreneur, actually moved from Jamaica in the 60s, moved to Canada because there was a commonwealth between them. So moved to Canada, started his work, and actually started the first patty retail business there called Mr. Spicy. In the 60s, and that's kind of helped him supplement his income with what he was doing with engineering.
Right.
So that went on for a good probably 18 years.
So he was an engineer by trade?
Oh yes.
Right.
Yes.
Oh, man.
So how did
This is
what
great.
did he was the family history in culinary or something, or he just okay.
He picked up a retail business but wanted to do Jamaican style patties, did it. Sold it out of a store and delivered. I used to go on deliveries with him as a kid, so all these places all over the place. But the memories are always good, as
Right.
far as he cranked them out by hand back then. So yeah, it was a great story.
Right.
So I think it was 1982. He decided, okay, I can't take the cold anymore. I want to move to Florida. And moved us to Fort Lauderdale. And we probably spent the next 4 years kind of formulating where we're going to put the business. And he didn't want to do the retail side anymore. He wanted to go to wholesale and sell to convenience stores and that. So it took us 4 years. We finally got a small warehouse in Hollywood, and that's where it began. I remember putting it together myself. He would drag us down there straight out of school, and I'd be tiling or I'd be setting up equipment walls and stuff like that. So we started off pretty much the family, just started making patties in that little bay.
How many's in your family?
I have a sister, one brother.
Okay.
And
everybody works pretty much.
Grandma was in there, aunts and uncles, whatever. Yeah, just trying to get everything going,
All right.
So it took us a while, but we stayed down there probably 28 years.
Wow.
28 years, and it grew from 1 bay to 7 bays. It just got too crowded, and we wanted something different, so we found a place here in Fort Pierce. And it's been wonderful ever since.
Now, how long have you been in Fort Pierce? When did you
Only
move
2
up here?
years.
Okay, so this.
Well, actually.
So I don't feel so
third.
bad not
Yeah.
knowing about you yet.
Yes.
So you moved from Fort Lauderdale up here, found a location, and basically moved the entire manufacturing operation. So this is where you are located. This is the home of Island Joe's right here.
That's right. We left a depot down there so that we can still deliver to the local market that we built over that time.
Okay.
But there is now a flagship retail business that my father's always wanted to open.
Okay.
It's called Island Joe's Cafe down in Dania.
Okay.
Yeah. So they're serving hot patties out of the front, and we're delivering out of the back.
Okay.
So.
Okay. I say field trip to Dania.
Yes.
Hey, I say we stop there when we play in Dania.
I like it.
Oh my!
In Fort Pierce
Well,
at some point?
the thing about this is he just opened it up to sell patties, and it just exploded. So, recently we've had to just close it down to make it bigger and
Right.
renovate it.
Okay.
So it's been a wonderful, wonderful welcome for that. So.
Okay, I tell you what we're going to do. We're going to take a break and look forward to coming back here and talking more to Paul about Island Joe's Hot Pie Manufacturing. This is Startup Talk. Stay tuned.
Express Printing in Port St. Lucie is proud to present Startup Talk from Indian River State College. You see Express Printing in its new US 1 location in the Chris Plaza, just south of the Boulevard across from Walmart, is the one-stop shop for entrepreneurs throughout the Treasure Coast. Whether you're starting a business or building one, Express Printing can offer insight on how to separate you from your competition. Let Express Printing help you rebrand your business as well. The backbone of America is its entrepreneurial spirit, shared by Express Printing and Indian River State College. Express Printing in a newer and larger facility to assist entrepreneurs. Express Printing, 878-7975. That's 878-7975. Express Printing. Look for the red sign that says, "We come to you."
And we are back. This is Startup Talk from the Dan K. Richardson Entrepreneurship Development Institute at Indian River State College. I am Tom Kindred, and I am just so pleased and honored to have with us tonight Miss Emily McHugh from the SBDC at the IRSC and Mr. Paul Chun, a standout award-winning manufacturer that is located right here in Fort Pierce. Now, we've been talking to Emily about an incredible program through the SBDC office that allows her to engage local businesses, help them build international marketing plans. And we have been talking about Paul about his family's owned and operated business, Island Joe's. So, Paul, you were telling us a little bit about the history. All started in Canada, moved to Lauderdale, and you moved up here 2 years ago. Right in Fort Pierce, right off of Kings Highway in a commercial park. Tell us a little bit about the facility and how did you make the move? How did all that come about?
Well, we actually bought the building and built it and had it in 2002, around that time. So our plans were to move up here around 2000, I'd say 5, 6, and then the market kind of tanked at that point. So
yes,
we
it
kinda had
did,
to
Paul.
pull back a little bit.
Yes.
So we still carried out our plan to go ahead and got everything built out by 2013. So the move was kind of tough, going from Hollywood all the way up here, the equipment
Right.
and whatnot. We did buy equipment that was built here, and then the startup was like August 2013.
What appealed to you in Fort Pierce? Was it availability of the property, or did you like the ocean view? What was it that really kind of brought you to the Fort Pierce area,
I
San Lucie
think
County?
my father was actually traveling to Orlando
Okay.
and stopped off, and then probably made his way up Kings Highway to see what was
Right.
going on.
Right.
He's kind of like that, the adventure.
Right.
So he found the industrial park and said this would be a great place, not
Yeah.
because of the location in the state, central to the state.
Right.
We're pretty much an hour and a half from everywhere.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
the highways coming in, 95 and Turnpike coming into this place. I mean, it's just very convenient.
Right.
And we had no idea what it was going to be like when we moved out here. To us, it's
right.
the boonies.
Right.
But I
Yeah.
moved up here, and I love it up here.
Right.
I think we were just so welcomed by the community, and it was something that
Did you work with the local EDCs? Did you get involved with the chamber? Did they know you were coming? Was it, or did you kind of slipped in and then said we're here kind of thing?
I think it was more of coming in and then seeing what was here.
Okay.
But being in Fort Lauderdale, there's so much business going on down there.
Right.
We really never saw any chambers or anything like that. You
Right.
know, if they did, it was just another business.
Right.
When we came up here, our goal for us was to really join the community and try to reach out and see what resources are out here.
Right.
And just pretty much make it our home. You know what I
Right.
mean? So it's
Right.
been a wonderful experience so far.
Now, you guys were actually recognized in 2013 and 2014 by the South Florida Manufacturers Association as Manufacturer of the Year. So, I mean, you're right. I mean, you came into this community and really, you staked a claim here. You've done well.
Oh, yeah. And when we were going through the whole interviewing process with that, they were actually interviewing us down south.
Right.
So they did hear about the plans of us coming and all that, and they did get a chance to see our facility open.
Right.
So it was good. It was very good.
So talk to us about, let's talk a little bit about the company and the products, which I've had the pleasure of sampling.
I think you've said that about 10 times today so far.
I have eaten these products. So talk to us a little bit about the product. I mean, what is it that you guys actually produce?
Well, these are meat turnovers, in our country known as patties, but in other countries known as the empanada.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I gotcha. Okay.
So we know every country pretty much has an empanada or some kind of meat turnover. In the Caribbean, South America, even in England, they have the English patty. So our version is baked, and most of the versions of the empanadas are fried. Ours does taste wonderful fried, by the way, but we don't do that. We bake. So that's basically what we make. And we make 5 different flavors: a beef mild, a spicy beef, a curry chicken, a jerk chicken, and we also make a wonderful vegetable.
Carol will be standing in line for the curry chicken.
I'm a jerk chicken guy myself.
Oh, yeah, I would love that. Yeah.
Now, of course, when I was at your place the other day, of course, I immediately, was all over this and was saying, oh, where can I go? Where can I buy these products? Now, talk to us a little bit about distribution out of the manufacturing facility here. Where are these products sold? What happens once you've baked them here in Fort Pierce?
Once we bake them, being the wholesaler, we have them shipped to various distributors all over the country. We are with U.S. Food Service, who has them all over. And we take them to convenience stores, to grocery stores, to anybody that will pretty much put out food as a quick snack. Warm them up, and then sell them to the public. As far as where we are now, being that it's just 2 years, we're trying to still settle ourselves in. We're actually in the midst of another expansion, so we really haven't touched on the local market around here, but the word is getting out, and stores are starting to take it in this area now,
Well,
too.
and U.S. Foods is the largest wholesale food distributor in the country, so
Yeah.
they have to help you a lot.
Oh, yes. We're also in Cisco. We're
The
also
other
in
large
UNFI.
one,
So
yeah.
there's a large distributor network that we're putting our product in, and they're moving it. So it's very good.
So you really did. Your model was really more based on and like you said, you're just only 2 years into this, but your initial model was really to get it to the distributors. You're not really at this point focused on retailers at this point.
Right. As far as we're concerned, we spent the last 30 years delivering out to. We still do that. We still cater to the retailers, small retailers. We just haven't done it in our local market here yet. But down south, we're all over the place down there. So
now you talked about you're in the expansion mode now. I mean, you're where you've moved and the facility you built in Fort Pierce. You can grow here. There's not going to be a need to move someplace bigger. You're situated here for a while, right?
Yes. The building is holding us right now. But there is talk of a hot pie too. So it will
Hot
be in
pie
this
too.
area, no doubt.
Right.
No
Well,
doubt.
good. And again, such a great story about the family involvement. Talk again a little bit about the family. I mean, father started the business, but everybody's been involved. Talk about your brother and your sister's involvement in the business. I mean, everybody pitches in.
Yeah, it's been like that since the start. Mark and I both went off and did our thing by ourselves to kind of grow up. Mark actually is a ex-professional MLS player. Played in the MLS for 11 years for various cities. He also made the U.S. national team in 1984. So he's really up there as far as the professional soccer scene is concerned.
For folks who don't know soccer, that's
right.
that's the pro soccer league.
That's
yeah.
right.
Wow.
Yeah. So Mark brings in. He was at USF, the University of South Florida, when he got picked up by the national team, and he was studying finance at that time. So he's got the finance background, and he with the competitive MLS league, he brings that competitiveness to the business now too.
Right.
He doesn't compete with me. He competes, the business. So
That's right.
Is he younger?
He's younger too.
Oh, see, there you go. Older brother.
Right.
Right.
So he does all the competing for me, so that's good. I, on the other hand, stayed at USF and got my degree in computer science, and then moved on to be a software engineer. And I was an engineer probably for a good 15 years. It wasn't until a Christmas gathering, a family gathering in 2004, Mark and I decided, it's time to come back home. And 2005, 2006, we both stopped. I stopped the corporate world. Mark retired, and we came home basically and started up, with the family again.
Wow. That's an amazing story.
Right here.
Wow.
So Dad took a big sigh of relief, and he's kind of, I wouldn't say he's stepped back, but he's kind of let the manufacturing side to me and my brother. He still comes in and does his thing and very involved with it. He's also involved with the retail down south. So we all get together and talk about things, expansion, those kind of things. So
Now, is he up here as well, or is he still down south?
he's down south, Danny, so he comes up here probably, once every 2 weeks or so, see how things are going, adds more things to do. So, like a dad does. So, he knows what's going on and is always in tune with what's going on.
Now, one of the neat facts that you told me about the other day when I was on a tour of the facility is that your father actually designed some of the equipment that's used in the manufacturing process.
Yes, he his mind works. He's like a tinker, so he's constantly working on more efficient ways to do things. And the process called for machinery that we really couldn't find out there, so he decided to build his own. Yeah.
And of course, you obviously bring a lot of IT knowledge to the business. So
Yeah.
obviously, a lot of computerized systems within the facility.
Right.
Yeah.
And computerize everything basically,
Right.
and take care of all that. Yeah.
Okay. Now let's talk a little bit about the engagement with the SBDC. How did all this come about? How did you become engaged at the college and the SBDC?
I think once we got here, our goal was to really reach out to the community and find out what resources are out there, join the community, those kind of things. I'm not sure how we got to the SBDC and how, whether the width of the
Paul, what you're supposed to say is I heard about it on the radio.
yes, right.
And how you heard about us, if I may jump
Go
in.
ahead, Emily. Go ahead. Answer the question.
So,
Yeah. Okay.
This Treasure Coast Progress and Innovation Report had the Chung family on the cover.
That's right.
And I'm reading it, seeing that they won the Manufacturer Award.
Correct.
I'm seeing Jamaican Patty. I'm seeing Fort Pierce. I'm like, wait a minute, that is around the corner. Let me go and find this place. So I showed up, and I don't know if you were there or not when I first came. I don't remember. I don't think so. I think I came like late one Friday afternoon, and it was like, okay, I'll have to come back when everyone is there and so forth. But I think that's how we began our little journey. Your
Okay.
publicity.
Yes.
That's right.
So I got the report that Emily McHugh had visited, very bright and just very excited to be there, and
Right.
and that was pretty much the start. And I wanted to really dive in to see what the SBDC could do for Hot Pie, and find out what kind of resources were available, and it's just been a wonderful experience so far.
All right, and you know, again, you don't tell us any trade secrets, but you know, what have you and Emily kind of worked on? What kind of work have you done together? Is it really on the international side, or have you done some basic operational, you know, reviews or something? Or
Well, initially, I worked on a research study on the food processing market and got data on some international aspects of food processing and growth opportunities, and just kind of really infrastructural information, trends maybe that could assist in making decisions going forward. So having a sense of what the data shows, and then you decide what to do with it.
Right.
But that was one of the initial things that I worked on.
And when Emily came, we were kind of exporting at that point, but not heavily. And Emily kind of introduced me to Enterprise Florida with John Dieppe.
Yes.
And it kind of got the excitement going. We since then have hooked into Belize and Haiti, and you know there's some leads into Trinidad and things like that. So that's kind of fallen into place. But
Right.
we are in line to have the study done.
You are. Okay, great.
Uh-oh, here we go.
Put Emily to work.
Breaking
And
news.
see what other markets we can tackle out there. You know.
Startup Talk
Put
breaks
you on the
another
waiting
news.
list.
that's right.
Wow. So now you're distributing primarily to Caribbean now, right?
Caribbean, yes.
In Central America.
And Central America.
So now, okay, you talk about like an empanada type thing. What other foreign countries would be into like receiving stuff like this?
Let me jump in with
Oh,
that.
here comes Emily.
When it comes to Jamaican cuisine, consider me biased if you will, but it has international appeal. There's probably not a country on the globe you can go to that doesn't have some kind of Jamaican something. And there is a great demand internationally. Asia, Africa, Europe, you name it. The sky's the limit for where these products can go.
That's amazing. Wow.
Well, and again, and what always amazes me too, and you know, I ask this question an awful lot of entrepreneurs that we work with. You know, we've had people on the show. I remember one very distinctly. You know, Rich Stamper with the Deviate company that we worked with. You know, and here Rich is. You know, Rich had a MBA from Harvard. And so I asked Rich, I said, Rich, you know, come on now, you've got a Harvard MBA, you know, why are you getting engaged in an incubation program? And, you know, I've always really appreciated Richard's, you know, response. And it's, you know, look, Tom, a lot of times, you know, those of us who think we know a lot of things and think we're very experienced need to go back to the basics sometime. And when I look at a company like Island Joe's, I mean, I think of the rich heritage and legacy that your family has and your father has, and I mean, you with the, you know, IT background, your father with the engineering background. I mean, you guys obviously have 40 years of experience in this product. But, you know, so talk a little bit about that too. I mean, does it help to kind of have a fresh, objective look? Somebody walk in. I mean, you know, is that the way you feel too? Is it, you know what, I'm walking in, I'm looking at hot pie every day, the same thing every day. It is nice to have somebody take a fresh look. Is that kind of your thoughts?
I mean, yeah, thinking about it, you know, when Mark and I stepped into hot pie, let me just back up. When Mark and I stepped in, our goal was to increase profits or revenue by 30%, and we've done that for the last 5 years. So to have fresh eyes.
Want to buy a radio station? Wow, 30%.
Tell us about your mom. Does your mom play a role too in the business?
Mom plays the role in that she works at the depot, and she does all the driver sheets, we call them. So she checks them in, checks them out, yes. Makes sure that everything's good, you know, with them. So she has her hands in there, no doubt. But as far as the business is concerned, as far as Mark and I getting in there, my sister, Mom has now been able to relax a little bit, which is nice. Mom needs to relax.
But again, back to that point though, so it is a benefit for you, even as an experienced person, even with the history of the business that you had, it brought value to have somebody else come in and say, let's take a fresh look at what we're doing.
Right. Looking at efficiency, looking at how we were doing things. You know, I brought in 15 years of corporate strategic planning, and, you know, I'm working in the IT department, but I became a manager within that time, and was brought into all the strategic planning and the way the corporation works. And it was a 400-person corporation that I was working for, a law firm. And, they had to get their minds all the same. All departments had to be the same. So I kind of saw all that, and I brought all that experience that I saw there and learned there to Hot Pie. So, it has benefited so much because now we're sitting down and we're planning out year by year by year, which is
well. And again, you make a great point too. That I guess so often in family-owned businesses, I mean, you could have basically graduated from high school and gone right into the business. And I think I think a smart move a lot of times is that you don't immediately start in the business. And that's probably, is that kind of how you felt? Like it was good for you and your brother and sister to go out, get some experience because you brought that back to the business.
Right.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if that was Dad's evil plan or what, but no, I'm kidding. No, but I mean, yes, it's definitely something that has helped the business, no doubt.
Right.
And all of us are thankful that Mom and Dad worked so hard to keep the business going, to put us all through school.
Right.
So, there's no doubt that the experiences that we've had outside of that have been brought back in to Hot Pie now, and we're seeing the fruits of that.
Right. And again, I think, and you really, the way you talk, even though, this business has been around for 40 some odd years, I mean, you talk about the business almost as if it's a startup. I mean, because you really see you see really growing this thing even beyond where you are today. I mean, you see some big moves in the future.
Yeah, and
He's got a global vision, obviously.
Right.
Yeah. It's the potential. You see the potential. People love the product, as you experience, and it's a product that is readily available and cheap, and you can buy it in any convenience store, so it's easy to get. And just having those elements, plus us keeping on the quality and taste of that.
Delicious is the word.
That
people.
product
Delicious.
has kept us in business. It really has. So, we really adhere to that quality and make sure that it's right.
See, it makes it easy when you have a client like this with a wonderful product and a wonderful everything. You're really excited to participate any which way you can to help promote them. Be kind of like an eyes and ears. Is there an opportunity here that could be good for you? Is there something over here you could look at? And it makes you excited to see how you can further that. And I think that's one of the things at the SBDC we do as consultants. We really care about our clients. We want them to succeed to their potential and find opportunities to help them do that.
Well, and what I love about Paul and his family is it's obvious that again, even though there was so much history there in the business, they're open to suggestions, comments, new ways of thinking. I mean, was your father that way when you and your brother came in the business? When y'all said we're going to grow by 30%, did he kind of look at you and say, "Now, boys"?
He never. No. He kind of raised his eyebrows and was like, "Okay, go ahead." You know what I mean? So yeah.
Right.
But me and Mark being the younger and whatever, and I guess the generation, I've always been a person that wants to learn. There's always something more to learn, and the business, as far as the last 6 years, has been tremendous as far as the learning curve in what I've learned. And SBDC has helped as far as being able to reach out to the resources that are there.
Right.
And it doesn't matter what it is. My contact is Emily, but Emily may not know this part, but there's a guy that can do it for you.
Right.
Here's his number.
Right.
So, there's always that element there.
Well, that's such a great point too, Paul. It's that we are part of a much bigger network. So, like you say, if Emily doesn't have the answer, we can go find the answer for you. But I think also, and again, Paul, you just make such a incredible, important point about people in business. So often we run into folks that, they've been doing things the same way, and they're tough. And Emily, you probably have seen this, in your work with SBDC. You know what? We've been doing it this way for a long time.
Why change?
Yes.
Why change? This works.
Oh, yeah.
And I think again, I just love the example that Paul and his family set. That look, we know our business, but we're open. We're open to talking about things. We're open to growing. And I think that's so important for long-term established
You
businesses.
see, people assume that the way they've been doing it in the past, it's worked well, so it will just continue to work well the next 20, 30 years. But the market is so dynamic. Things are changing so much. You can't afford to rest on your laurels, and you really do need to have that progressive mindset
Right.
to capture future opportunity.
Well, and think about your dad, Paul. I mean, your dad could have said, "Look, it's the cafe, and that's all we're going to do."
Yep.
But obviously had a vision for something bigger, and was willing to to explore how to get there.
And it was really surrounding ourselves with people that saw the potential, got excited about it, and wanted to introduce this product to somewhere, wanted to introduce us to a new way of doing things. And being open to it, you say, okay, let's see what happens. You know what I mean?
Right.
And it's worked.
Again, I can't say enough about how impressed I was with what I saw the other day, Paul. And thank you for being an incredible example of a business that's open to suggestions, comments, ideas, open to listening to what SBDC consultants have to talk about. Because I know sometimes it's tough. I'm sure it is. And like Emily points out, there are some people that probably say, thanks, but no thanks, Emily. We don't need your help.
I don't take it personally.
But I mean, in the family business too, you're wearing like 8 hats, so you're constantly moving, constantly putting out fires, constantly trying to get
Another
things
great
going.
point. Yeah.
And Emily stepping in there and say, "Look, Paul, you have to come down and see this."
Right.
So get down to the IRSC, and I had to peel myself away from the business to do it.
Yes,
Right.
busy
But
man.
Right.
as much as business people don't like to step away from their business to do those kind of things,
Right.
I have
Yeah.
never once regretted going to one of these events. You know what I mean? And saying, "Oh, I didn't get
Right.
anything out of that." I always do.
Right. Well, again, great words of advice, Paul. Now, real quickly, I want to end on something because I need to know the answer to this question. Where do I get my hot pies?
You could
If I wanted your product,
Yes.
which I do, how would I get it here locally? How can I experience this product locally?
There are a couple Jamaican restaurants in the area that are selling our product now.
Where?
Where?
You can call the manufacturing office and ask them where they're being sold now.
Okay.
There are a couple gas stations out there that are selling them right now.
All right.
So
So we just
it
need
is
to call.
available.
Give us the phone number I do believe it's 772-466-1199.
that is correct.
All right.
And
That
ask for
is
Mitzi.
Ask for Mitzi
Ask for
Hi,
Mitzi.
Mitzi.
or Aaron.
Or Aaron.
Yes.
All right. So again, the company name is. Am I getting the company name right too? It's Island Joe's Hot Pie, or do you
It's-
just go by Hot Pie?
Oh yeah, so it's Hot Pie Island Joe's.
Okay, Hot Pie Island.
We've
Joe's.
been Hot Pie for 20-something years, 28 years.
Okay.
We are selling a product in a box that is labeled under Island Joe's.
Frozen patties.
Right. So this is where now we're crossing over into the American market, and we just want one name. So if you go into a convenience store and it's Hot Pie, then you go into the grocery store and it says Island Joe's. Well, are they the same?
Right.
Well, now we're putting them together.
Okay.
And you're in retail stores, supermarkets now, Food Lion.
Food
and
Lion,
growing
Sweet
in-
Bay.
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
All right. Listen.
Big up, Jamaica.
Listen, thank you both. Thank you both for the information. Thank you for the tour the other day. And with that, we will talk to everyone next week on Startup Talk.
This is WPSL, Port St. Lucie, WSTU Stewart, serving Martin County and the Treasure Coast for more than 60 years.